Hello. In this CD, we're going to talk about how to get business in 2 weeks or less. A lot of plans that other people lay out, do this, do this, do this, dealing with realtors is usually about long-term business. If you go to the realtors one-on-one and beg for the business, you're going to be waiting quite a while to get through to them. And in fact, the only deals they may give you are their junk deals. Deals that were turned down by other loan officers that they're doing kind of a Hail Mary pass, hoping that somehow magically you'll have that lender that the other guy didn't, or you'll see something they didn't and be able to recover that deal. That is a bad way to build your business. In fact, the way I would encourage you to start off your business is to be proactive and aggressive and to go after the one thing nobody, and by that I mean nobody, in your marketplace is going after. In fact, if you could find even less than 100 loan officers in the whole country who do this approach anymore, I would die of shock. Go after active listings. That means people that have listed their property with a realtor who aren't expecting your call. By that I mean cold soliciting them, going to their door and knocking on their door. Now, the phone is also effective too, kinda, sorta, but the door is way more effective. Now, people would say, Eric, you've always pushed us to do phone calls. Well, here's the fact. Prospecting is prospecting. And when you're carpet bombing, when you're going through a big list of 1,000 title leads, that's one thing. But when you have an area not too far from yourself where there's 20 or 30 listings, you need to maximize every opportunity. These are high value, targeted leads. That means that you know these people are probably going to sell their home and have some amount of equity when they're done, unless they're in a short sale situation. Also, on top of that, what you're going to have is somebody who has to do a loan, who has to move into a house because they've sold their house and they're going to buy another one. So out of those 30 people, you may get a bunch that say, you know what, no, not right now. No, 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 no. We're just going to wait for this property to sell before we do anything. But what's going to happen, if you're smart at the door, you'll say, listen, I understand that completely. And what I'd like to do is follow up with you just in a couple weeks to see how things are going. And maybe you'll have your house sold and you'll be in the market for a loan then. May I please have your cell number? And a lot of people will say no, or they'll say yeah, not a problem. And if they say, no, I won't give you my cell phone number, just say, well, no problem. Would it be okay if I called you at home? And if you just keep asking 3 or 4 times for different pieces of information, they'll give you something, whether it be an email, a cell phone, and sometimes they'll be jerks and give you false information, and that happens. But then what you need to do is put them on your list again of potential clients and go and knock their door a month later and just say, hey, listen, you know, I know we had talked a month ago and just wanted to see how your home sale was coming. And if you do that, many times right off the bat you'll be able to get in the door if you're smart. Now, you won't be getting in the door that night. I don't encourage you to sit down the same day you knock the door and do an application because that's a little too aggressive. It makes people nervous. What I would do is set an appointment and I would talk with them just a little bit at the door and say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here with some standard loan paperwork, a form called a 1003 and a couple other things, and we'll sit down and fill it out together. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll put together your options for you, and we'll go over that. So does Tuesday or Wednesday work better for you? Remember, when you go to the door, or even if you call off the phone, the most important thing is for you to set an appointment. Not necessarily to break into their house and to sit down there and pound out a 1003 on the spot. You'll typically want both the husband and the wife to be there. And many times when you knock on the door, only one or the other is there. And a lot of times they'll say, well, I need to talk to my husband or wife about it. Not a problem. In fact, you know, buying a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make in your life. What I'd like to do is call you back later on just to talk with both you and your husband together and set a time depending on what your goals and objectives are. See, you're kind of taking away the pressure a little bit and you're trying to get some information from them. A lot of times I can set the appointment at the door, but not always. Sometimes I have to call back. And sometimes, quite frankly, they already say, I have a loan guy, or don't bother me, or whatever. And that's people's automatic rejection. And that's okay. That happens. Some will, some won't. So what, right? Remember? All right. So what do? We go out there and knock the door. Hi, I noticed that your house was for sale. Are you the owner? Well, yeah, I am. Okay, I just wanted to find out. You know, I'm a loan officer here, a local mortgage guy, and we usually work with a bunch of the different home sellers in the area, and usually about 1 out of every 2 people we talk with at the door usually doesn't have their financing completely done for when they buy their next house. Where are you guys moving to? And they'll tell you, and just say, great, that's a great area. Let me ask you, do you guys have a firm offer on your mortgage yet from a mortgage company? And they'll say, well, not really. Well, what I'd like to do is sit down with you in a couple days, help show you how the process works, and then also some of the new ways that you can save more money by getting all your mortgage stuff done now versus when the crunch comes and you have to go ahead and push and get everything done real quickly on a tight schedule while you're looking for a house. So what I'd like to do is come back here on Tuesday and sit down with you and your wife and just talk about your goals and objectives and what the next step would be. Would that be okay? And a lot of times they'll say, well, let's talk to my wife. And they'll do what's called spousing you. They'll say, well, I got to talk to my husband or wife. Not a problem. What's a good time for me to follow up with you guys? And they'll tell you and just say, great, what's the best number to reach you at? And then you just simply follow up with them. Just that simple. And if you ever kind of struggle with how do I close this? How do I do it? There's a great default saying. And I've learned this from many different salespeople over the years, and it works no matter what you're selling. If somebody's kind of interested but they're a little hesitant, all you simply need to do is say, would you like to find out what the next step is? And as soon as they say yes, you tell them and then set the appointment or do whatever the next step is. It's a very, very simple approach. Now, how do we get access to these active listings? There's really 2 ways. There's the dirty way and then there's the clean way. And I'm going to teach you both because, some people would say not to tell you this, but this is the truth. If you're a member of the board of realtors or if you're an affiliate member, you really can't go after active listings. So you need to just stay out of the board of realtors altogether, either as an active member, as a realtor member, or as an affiliate member where your mortgage company or whatever is in their affiliate section. You need to stay away from the board of realtors. What you need to do is if you have a friend who's a realtor or if somebody's willing to give you MLS access, that's the quickest, fastest, easiest way of doing it. But there's a secondary way. There's a clean way of doing it too, other than just sneaking in and using somebody's MLS access. That's kind of on the gray side. What I would encourage you to do actually is to go to the realtor websites. Just simply type in your hometown name and just say, for example, Baytown Homes or San Diego Homes or Hollywood, Florida Homes or Atlanta, Georgia Homes, any of those places. And what you'll see is realtors will advertise the fact that they're realtors and they'll come right up on the search engines for you. What you're going to want to do is just simply click on the realtor website. Any decent realtor will have what's called IDX access to the MLS. That means that you can go onto their web page, and if you just put in some information, you can go ahead and look up any of the houses you wanted anyway. In fact, here even in Houston, the Houston Association of Realtors has actually where you can go on their website and look up every single listing that's out there. So I can map out what's going on. Now, what's really neat is a lot of realtors, if you put in like wide search criteria in your area, they'll actually have it automatically set so the MLS will email you when new listings come up that match your criteria. And all this has become so automated. And I remember when you used to have to buy 2 or 3 or 4 different services to be able to do this. A lot of realtors have these gateways now where you're able to just simply go into their website, look to see what's in the area, and it'll send you any updates as they come up. So you don't really even need to kind of sneak in and smuggle MLS access anymore. You can pretty much get what you want, with the exception of you might not be able to get the person's name. However, if you have good title software, a lot of the different title companies will give you access to their digitized software where you can go in and pull up title records. Well, there you go. You got everything you need. Hi, Miss James. My name's Erik Webster. I'm one of the local Baytown loan officers. I noticed that your home is for sale. Have you guys got it under contract yet? No, we don't. All right. Well, I work with a lot of the different home sellers in the area, and usually when I talk to folks, there's one of 2 types of people. Those who have their financing and those that are still looking for the best deal out there. Which of the 2 are you? Well, we haven't really gone that far yet. No problem. Where are you guys moving to? Oh, well, we're going to move to Humble. Oh, that's great. You guys moving for job reasons or just for family? No, we're going to be moving for job reasons. Awesome. Have you guys been getting any good foot traffic in the area? It's been a little bit slow, but we're starting to pick up. Great to hear. What I'd like to do is have the opportunity to apply for being your future loan officer when you buy your next home. And the process is super simple. Would you like to hear the next step? And at that point they say, Well, what's that? And then you just simply tell them and schedule your appointment. It's not rocket science. It's just simply sales and cheap psychology. And we use it every single day, day in and day out. And that's exactly how it goes down at the door. Now, you can get on the phones and do the same thing on the phones too. And if you want to, go ahead, have fun with it. I'm a big fan of the phones. I'll never talk bad about the phones. But with the door, your closing percentages are way higher. And don't forget, it's a lot harder to slam a door in your face than it is to hang up a phone, because that takes a lot of guts, and most people are spineless. So you can just sit there and keep talking with them, and unless you lose your word track or you get off script, you can actually keep them there for quite a while at the door, just talking, and eventually, when that magic moment comes up, you can ask the very simple question, would you like to find out the next step? And everything else will fold right into place for you as an experienced and focused salesperson.